And today we're going to be looking at a scenario where Romania forms an empire. Let's get into it. So, today, let's do a scenario where Ukraine attempts to form an empire for themselves, and Romania is a country in the Balkans, part of Europe, and they've been around for a while. They've had a lot of history, so let's see what happens if they make an empire. So, the first country the Romanians are going to go after is Moldova. And this is pretty simple, as Moldova was once part of the Romanians. And some people, when the Romanians send troops into Moldova, some people are actually going to support Moldova, so Moldova just surrenders. Let's look at a peace treaty. And this is the peace treaty for annexation. And nobody really takes a second thought of this as, well, they're already very similar anyway. But who does Romania want to go next? Definitely not Ukraine. Maybe, no. So you have Serbia, Hungary, and Bulgaria. You might not want to invade Serbia because of Russia. Hungary? Not sure. Maybe Bulgaria could be later, so Romania goes after Hungary, as Hungary has disputes of Transylvania with them. So Romanians will be sending the troops into Hungary and will quickly be able sending the troops in. But the Hungarians are kind of a strong-ish country, so they do push back a little bit, like this. And they actually do very well, as some regions of Romania will actually be breaking away from Romania and Transylvania in order to fight for the Hungarians. And this is what the front line looks like. Looks very weird, as all these areas are just gone, and Romania is losing. But then another country is going to join in onto this war to get some lands from Hungary. And that country is Serbia. Serbia will be sending their troops into Hungary alongside the Romanians, and they will be pushing up, splitting the country in half. And this will allow the Romanians to go back in and take these parts of Hungary. And seeing Hungary basically collapsing, the Austrians and the Croatians are going to join in on this. And I don't think Hungary is going to be winning this war anytime soon, so let's look at a peace treaty. And this is what the Treaty of Bucharest gives to Hungary, as Hungary is just divided. Yeah. And who does these Romanians want to go after next? They kind of don't want to go after Slovakia because that would just look weird. Like that. I don't really want to do that. So, Serbia, Bulgaria. And they just had a war, went to Serbia, so they're going to go after Bulgaria. And the Romanians are going to be sending their troops into Bulgaria, quickly going down into the southern parts. The Bulgarians are mainly focusing on the northern parts as their areas are closer to the capital, and then they start pushing back against the Bulgarians again. And yeah, because, well, then the Romanians will push down. But then another country is going to join in onto this war against Romania. Slovakia. Now Slovakia will join this war in order to get revenge for Hungary, for some reason. And they're just kind of mad at Romania for doing their expansions near the border. So when they go in, the Bulgarians will be pushing back up north and will be recapturing some of their coastline. But then Serbia is going to be invited into this war in order to take out Bulgaria. And that's what they're doing. And then Greece also joins in on this war. And, well, it's not looking very good, as the Slovakians will be losing all their land with Serbians, just mainly focusing up there as they want to expand north. And the Greeks will send all their troops down up here. And with Serbia also going around, Sofia, the capital of Bulgaria, is captured, and eventually Bulgaria is going to be forced into surrender. Let's look at a peace treaty. And this is what the Treaty of Belgrade gives to Bulgaria. Bulgaria is divided up, and, well, Romania looks weird. And Romania is actually going to make an official ally with Serbia. And, Ukraine is kind of mad at this Romanian expansion, so Romania is going to declare war on. No, Ukraine is going to declare war on Romania. It's the newly occupied areas of Slovakia are taken by Romania, and so are the Moldovan areas. As these areas, some of them want to leave, but the Ukrainians, which are one of the stronger countries in the world, as you can see what the Empire had made them with them in the past. And yeah, they aren't buffed, but it says the Ukrainians will actually be doing very well against these Romanians here, as the Romanians weren't expecting this. But then another country is going to join on this war against the Romanians, Bulgarians, no, Ukrainians, and that's Belarus. As the Belarusians will be sending their forces into Ukraine, they are going to threaten Kiev and will be sending more troops back up, which will cause the Romanians to push back into the Slovakian areas and recapture all that territory. But they still have a front line in Moldova. And then another country is going to join in on this war, mainly against Serbia, Bosnia, and also Kosovo are going to join this war against Serbia. And so are the rest of the Yugoslav countries for some reason. As all these countries will be sending their forces into here, they will be destroying Serbia, and the Romanians are going to go into here in order to occupy the rest of Serbia. And well, they will be pushing back before they're not being pushed back. And then another country is going to join in on this war. Oh my, actually two countries. As Poland and Russia will be joining this war against Ukraine. And what happens is the Polish immediately will be leaving this war, but the Russians will stay for some reason. And well, the Belarusians and the Romanians will connect, and the Romanians will be able to retake Moldova, with Crimea already being captured, and the Russo-Ukrainians, well, yeah, it's not so good for Ukraine, as Kiev is officially captured, and well, Ukraine is forced into surrender. There's really nothing else you can do at this point, as they just surrender. But the Romanians will also be able to push back, recapturing Serbia and going into these North Macedonian areas, and also eventually pushing back and reaching Slovenia and forcing them to surrender. Let's look at a peace treaty. This is what the Treaty of Moscow gives to the Romanians and the rest of the parties. As Ukraine is split between Belarus, Russia, and Romania, and Serbia takes a lot of lands in the Yugoslav area, and this thing is supposed to become an ally of the Romanians. And where do they have to expand next? And some countries are going to form a coalition against the Romanians, such as Poland, Czechia, Austria, Belarus, and Turkey are all going to form a coalition against the Romanians. And this is something, but guess what? Romania doesn't really worry about this. Let me change the. There, that looks better. Because the Romanians will be betraying their allies, mainly this ally, and well, they didn't really like Serbia anyways. This country is going to start by pushing in to the Romania to Serbia, as the Romanians will also be pushing into Serbia very rapidly, as Belgrade is eventually taken. And eventually Serbia was not expecting this, so we can look at a peace treaty. And this is the treaty of whatever this city in Slovakia is. Yeah, we'll just say a Treaty of Rome for Italy is going to have for this area. And oh my, Albania is being invaded next. And it's very clear to the rest of the world now that Romania is trying to reach the Mediterranean Sea. So they quickly go down and reach it, and well, eventually, oh my, let's just look at a peace treaty, which is going to be very, very, very. Peace treaty. Full annexation, and it'll look like this. And this is what the Romanian Empire looks like so far. But well, they are going to get a new ally, the Romanians, and that ally is Greece. Yeah, but some countries are gonna leave this coalition, like Czechia and Austria. And the Romanians are claiming that they don't really have anywhere else to expand, so the coalition just collapses. And the Romanians, going quiet, are going to lose all their allies. But after a few years, the Romanians will invade this country. And well, they will quickly send their forces into it. This country was originally formed by the Romanians, and they will be very quick to almost take it out. Before a new country joins in on this war, and that country is Italy, as the Italians will send their forces across the Adriatic Sea and into Romania in order to save this country. As they send their force into Albania and this area, they will be pushing back. But the Romanians will then push back down here and make it to the Adriatic once again and start pushing into Italian areas. And okay, Austria joined in on this war for some reason, as they were pushing into Italy and will start pushing them back. Well, as they are kicked out of Albania and this country surrenders. And well, this is what's happening so far as another country joins in on this war, and that country is Greece. Okay, yeah, Greece. Very nice country. Greece is a pretty strong country, so they will be pushing up into the Romanian areas, like Balkan areas, and will be pushing back the Romanians. As the Italians are also pushing back here and making landings at the Adriatic coastline. Before, the Turkish joined in on this war against the Greeks as they invade into Crete, like this. As they also invade this island here and start sending their forces into Greece. As the Romanians will be pushing back a lot, and well, Greece just loses their mainlands, and eventually, with help from the Turks, the Greeks will fall. And then eventually the Italian invasion is repelled. That's not what happens. There. As the Romanian forces were being sent into Italy, and eventually Italy will be forced to surrender. Let's look at a peace treaty. And this is what the Treaty of Vienna brings to this area. Time to call it Crete. Yeah. As Romania will be annexing a lot of land in the Balkans, including parts of Italy which aren't in the Balkans, and the Ottomans take the southern half of Greece, while the northern half is annexed by the Romanians, and this Yugoslav country that was once here is fully annexed. Also, Austria takes some land. Yeah. And well, there is a lot, and they don't really know what else to expand. Wrong color. Oh my, the Romanians are continuing their invasion as they invade into Austria and very quickly reach Vienna with the overwhelming amount of troops, and we can look at a peace treaty. And that peace treaty, which you're seeing right here, includes full annexation of Austria. And, well, Romania will then go ahead and attempt to buy Thrace from the Turks, and it actually goes through, and the Turks, thinking themselves for Greece, will be selling Thrace, or Romania will be buying Thrace from the Turks. And that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed today's scenario where Romania formed an empire. See you in the next video, and bye!